Thank you very much for responding so well at such a short notice. Um, we are speaking to two issues. One, the Constitutional Court judgment. Second issue, program for today. The front seat to introduce those that are here, you know, Comrade Jeff, who's a member of the steering committee of conference. You know, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, who is the chairperson of the steering committee of conference. Then you know Comrade Jackson Mtembu. We have Comrade Krish, I'm also a member of the steering committee dealing with communications. You know Comrade Krish Naidu, a member of the ANC in good standing and an advocate. You know Comrade Andre Snell, a member of the ANC in good standing and also an advocate. Thank you very much. Without any further ado, I give over to the chair of the steering committee of conference, Comrade Gwede Mantashe.
Thank you very much. At 12 o'clock, there will be an open session of plenary, which will receive the announcement of results of the top 6 officials and receive messages of support from fraternal and allied organizations, domestically and internationally. At 5 o'clock, 17 hours, there will be another open plenary session where nomination for additional NEC members will be underway. So we're inviting all of you to be there. The third thing that we want to deal with is report to you on the decision of the Constitutional Court. You remember that we said the Constitutional Court was promised to reproduce the reasons for its determination. Now we're going to give you briefly that summary will only refer to things concerning the conference. Other issues is quite a thick declaration. We can't take the media through it, but we'll just take you into confidence on the aspects that have implications for conference. For that, Comrade Jeff will take you through. I'm handing over to Comrade Jeff with your permission, Comrade Jackson.
Amandla.
Thanks, Comrade Chair of the Steering Committee.
But very careful.
But we don't know what will happen at 12. On a serious note, as you recall, we had a press conference on Saturday, on Monday, where we indicated the decisions of the National Executive Committee of the ANC regarding the decision of the Constitutional Court that declared the Provincial Conference of the ANC in Free State, in Parys, in June of this year to be unlawful and invalid. We indicated at the time, and we reiterate, our firm commitment to the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary, and that we want to reiterate our firm commitment to the upholding of the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. As a consequence of that court order that was issued by the Constitutional Court, the National Executive Committee on Saturday had a meeting to deal with that issue, and we took a decision to accept unambiguously that court order of the Constitutional Court, and went on in acceptance of that constitutional order to create a new provincial task team that will take over from the disbanded or unlawful Provincial Executive Committee. So that's the first point that I wanted to make. We also indicated on Saturday that in Mahikeng in Northwest Province, there were some members of the ANC who took the ANC to court, and in dismissing their application, the Judge President of Northwest High Court indicated that in terms of Rule 11.3 of the ANC Constitution, those complaints can be dealt with by the National Conference, which has the power to review, to alter, to rescind, or to ratify decisions of any constituent units or officials of the ANC. And in its plenary session yesterday, the National Conference took such a decision in compliance with the High Court decision of Mahikeng of last week. But all along the line, we have always maintained the position that the provincial delegates of Free State to the National Conference of the ANC have not been affected by the court order of the Constitutional Court. And this morning, the Constitutional Court has given its reasons for the order that it issued on the 14th of December. It is a 60-page document. We are still studying it, but in perusing through the document, it is very important that we highlight one point that indicates our understanding of what the Constitutional Court has said. And I just want to read that paragraph at 124. This is what the Constitutional Court is saying. In our view, a declaration that the Provincial Elective Conference of the ANC and the decisions taken at the conference are unlawful and void should suffice. We emphasize that the declaration of invalidity applies only to the Provincial Conference. The declaratory order we make does not relate to or affect the rights of delegates who have been elected at properly constituted branch meetings of the Free State province to serve as delegates at any other conference of the party. I think that puts this issue of the status of the Free State delegates to rest. But I need to emphasize once more before I end this short presentation that we had been served with papers, lawyers' papers, day before yesterday, by those who had been claiming that the provincial delegates of Free State and those of Northwest to the National Conference are not properly in the conference. We took a precautionary measure as the ANC to ensure that we deal with this matter in anticipation of any court challenge. And in its wisdom, the Elections Commission that is running the conference of the ANC decided that for the ballots of both Free State and Northwest will be in a different color code in the event that there is a dispute, so that we can know what precisely happened. But with this clarification by the Constitutional Court, we are absolutely happy about what has transpired. So that step that had been taken is yet another indication of our upholding of the rule of law and respecting the judgments of our courts. As we know, in terms of our constitutional democracy, our courts, in particular the Constitutional Court, is the final arbiter in disputes, and their decisions are final and binding to all, including the African National Congress, which is the ruling party of the Republic of South Africa. Thank you.
And that ruling is very clear that, let me read you just 2 sentences. No relief was sought against branches or delegates. No relief was sought against branches or delegates. Neither the branches nor delegates were essential parties to the dispute. That is quite clear and unambiguous.
It's obviously that was and has always remained our understanding of the findings of the Constitutional Court. Now, we will allow, without prolonging this matter, indeed you can also read for yourselves. Just get the court judgment and read for yourselves. It's unambiguous. It doesn't need any legal interpretation.
I'm saying that, as they say, the judgment speaks for itself.
Amandla. It's just like isiXhosa, but isiXhosa asitolokwa. Thank you very much. But if there are any few matters of clarity, we are prepared to take those. But in relation to the program of today, it's just information, please. At 12 o'clock, we are starting plenary. And again, the SG, oh sorry, the chairperson of the steering committee has invited you to that open session where we'll have announcement of the results for the top 6 and messages of support. I think we can only get clarity from where I'm standing on the Constitutional Court judgment and any issue that you want to raise in relation to that. Anyone, any takers? Doesn't look like there are any takers. Oh, okay. Okay, what are you saying? Ask a question. Colleagues, we will have ample time. My worry is that at 12 o'clock we have a plenary and we are invited. Any other issues that you like to raise, indeed we can respond to them. We'll have other briefings. I hope that is not urgent. Are we agreed? We want only questions that relate to the matters that we have briefed you on, please. We will have other general briefings. You can raise any issue, including issues of 1912. Warren and Madam.
Warren Mabona from the New Age. I would like to know the ANC's interpretation of this court battle, because the general perception is that it is a manifestation of factionalism. And also, I would like to know if the ANC has been able to use this conference as a platform to come up with an effective remedy to internal wrangles, internal squabbles.
Thank you, Madam. After that, Tammy Dixon reporting from Bochabelo in New York.
Natasha from the Business Day. Former SG, I just wanted to check on the constitution of the ANC. Are there any moves to tighten the constitution of the ANC in order to be more explicit on members taking the party to court? And then secondly, what action are you now going to take against those members who have taken the party to court?
I think the last one was answered so many times. Tammy. Thank you very much. Bafowethu.
You know, I don't know, Warren, how do you understand factions? I always explain this, go to details and take people through the writings of Advocate Dumanokwe, the former Secretary General of the ANC, on factionalism. And my argument is that factions in political power are as old as politics. The most important thing that we must deal with in a conference, in every meeting of the ANC, is to ensure that factions don't take over the organization. Because you can't have a decree that says people can't whisper in corners as a grouping or as a faction. But those factions must never be allowed to take over the organization and basically collapse the organization. This conference is dealing with that reality because it was covered both in the political report and in the organizational report. So it will be discussed. The constitution is one of the issues that is reviewed by conference. It's the only structure that can review the constitution of the ANC, not necessarily to tighten the constitution for purposes of people taking the ANC to court, to tighten the constitution, to make the organization move swiftly and seamlessly in dealing with complex issues. That is the purpose of reviewing the constitution.
Yeah, just one point. Interpretation of the court judgment. We don't interpret it. We have accepted it as is. We don't try to put salt or pepper or aroma into it. That is why on Friday, when the Constitutional Court took a decision, made an order, we accepted that order unconditionally, and we took steps in order to comply with that order. Now that we know the reasons for that judgment, we're going to at least study it as the ANC to learn what mistakes have been committed in Free State with the view of correcting them, that this does not recur again. No interpretation, but to follow what the judgment has indicated.
Comrade Christian, Comrade Andres, anything? Thank you very much. That then concludes our briefing. Safe to say that this court judgment vindicates the correct actions taken by the outgone NEC of the African National Congress relative to this particular matter. Well, we were the last one. I hope it is not an afterthought.
We've responded to that already.
Thank you very much. Can we meet at 12 o'clock? Obviously, there are people who will guide you. Those who have got to go to plenary, they know themselves. And there are people who will guide you to the plenary venue. This time, we won't make the mistake of putting you there before you are expected to be there. Thank you very much. See you later.